do that next? What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to your boys, Vinny's Corner. I'm here with my co-host. I'm never good at pointing this way, but hopefully everybody is strapped in. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Boxing as usual. Of course, we've got NHL and NBA basketball playoffs, and then we've got some MLB. And I think that we're going to wrap all that stuff besides boxing up into Cove's questions for tonight. You know, make it kind of simple so it just guides us right through. We can talk a little about everything, and we'll take it from there. Hopefully everybody is well, and just getting this shared on the socials, and we're going to rock and roll. So, Cove, how's everything going, brother? You good?
Oh, yeah. It's all good.
That's all I needed to hear. So we'll jump right into the boxing. So, guys, I know a lot of people do not follow boxing, but unless you've been living under a rock for this last year, you probably recall last year around the same time, 420, when Ryan Garcia was banned from boxing for a year for performance-enhancing drugs, a positive urine test. Well, a year has passed. Ryan, the kid, is back. He's fighting this weekend. He's actually fighting on Friday on the first ever boxing event being held in Times Square. He'll be headlining against former champ Rolly Romero. They're going to be fighting for a belt as well, WBA title, I believe. In addition, Devin Haney will also be fighting on that card, and he'll be fighting his first fight back since the Ryan Garcia event against Jose Ramirez. Now, a lot of people think that fight might be easy for him, but in case you are a boxing fan and know what's going on, Jose Ramirez is trained by one of the GOATs, Robert Garcia. So that fight may be a little more interesting. We'll see what happens. And last but not least, on that same card is the lineal and unified champion, otherwise known as Teofimo the Takeover Lopez, and he's putting it on the line against the interim belt holder Arnold Barbosa. That's Friday night. So a lot of fights going on Friday. That's actually pretty awesome to start out Cinco de Mayo weekend. As you know, per Floyd Mayweather era, this has been a big boxing weekend for years. On Saturday, unfortunately, the Cinco de Mayo staple, Canelo Alvarez, will be fighting, but not here in America or in Mexico. He'll be fighting in Saudi Arabia, but he'll be fighting an undefeated William Skull fighter who is currently the IBF title holder at 168, as Canelo did have to relinquish that belt because he was not willing to take on William Skull at the time. He wanted to fight Jaime Munguia. So they will be unifying. So it gives Canelo the opportunity to become the undisputed champion at super middleweight again. That is Saturday night. And if you're a boxing fan, the card kicks off around lunchtime Pacific time. And I think the main event, Canelo, will be around 8 p.m. Eastern time, or maybe 8 p.m. Pacific time, actually, and 10 p.m. Eastern or 11 p.m. Eastern time. It's a pretty late card. But I'll have the times confirmed for sure for everybody on my my X page at Vin Casada 1 that you can see there at the bottom, and Vinny's Corner. And last but not least, the man who is arguably the pound-for-pound greatest fighter in the world right now makes his return trip to America straight from Japan. Naoya Inoue will be fighting and putting his belt on the line, or his belts, I should say, against Ramon Cardenas. Excuse me. Now, if you guys know a little bit about this, excuse me, I got the hiccups. Can't do much about that right now. But if you're familiar with Inoue, his nickname is the Monster, and that's for a good reason. He's got a 90% KO rate. He stops almost everybody, and we've seen him get knocked down and then get back up and put it on somebody, right? And that fight is going to be going on, and this is kind of an unprecedented one for us here in America, but that fight's going to be going on, excuse me. Damn, these hiccups are vicious. In any case, that fight's going to be going on Sunday. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, back to back to back. We've got title fights in the boxing world. with one of the most notable fighters right now in Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney, and then multiple big-time champions in Teofimo Lopez, Canelo Alvarez, and Naoya Inoue. Oh, and if you're a heavyweight fan, on the Canelo card, we're actually going to get a chance to see a guy named Martin Bakole from the Democratic Republic of the Congo. He's pretty awesome. He recently knocked out Big Baby Jared Anderson, and then he took a fight on short notice that he probably shouldn't have. Excuse me. These hiccups really are vicious. But that's what's going to be going on this weekend in boxing. It's a big weekend. I'll have more information about it on my pages. You've probably already seen the flyers if you follow me. And so now, as per usual, and just an easier way to kind of direct ourselves into conversation, I'm going to turn it over to my guy, Cove. Now, Cove, I need to get these hiccups out for a second. So why don't you take a second and plug your show? Because I know that you've had an awesome baseball-centered space going on, or live going on, actually, on the weekends. So why don't you tell us a little about that?
Yeah, usually it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, depending on when the guys are all together. But yeah, there's usually 3 or 4 of us that will sit back, talk about baseball week to week. We've been doing it for over about a year now, pretty much. It has various hosts. Still try to get you on once in a while.
I know the weekends have been kind of hard. If you're on Thursday or Friday this week, I'll make Friday work.
This Friday, no, but tomorrow night we're actually doing one tomorrow night.
What time?
That's what I have to see what everybody wants, right? Like,
I'll be available, not tomorrow's Thursday. I'll probably be available around 7 p.m. my time. So kind of late for your time. But just keep me in, let me know what's going on, and I'll see what I can do for sure. If it's early, then, if you guys are at like 6 or 7 Eastern, maybe I can pop in on my phone for a little while. But, I do owe that much at the very least to my co-host, right? I should be on his show sometimes too. It only makes sense.
Well, we're going to try to do it 8 or 9 East.
Okay, 8 or 9 your time.
Yeah.
So I will likely be at an appointment if I'm basically waiting, I'll pull my phone out and just open up the StreamYard right there on my phone. I'm cool with that.
Yeah. Well, no, like that's where we're gaining for is 8 or 9 East, but sometimes they can do later. So I just got to see what they're doing.
For sure. And then that coincides, guys, for those that don't know, and I'll make sure Cove posts it on his X later. But that coincides with a Discord that we also have set up. Well, that Cove set up, really. I didn't put the legwork in. But it's got a bunch of baseball fans in there. It's really all sports, but it started centered around baseball. So that's also available if you're on Discord. So just a couple of things. So Cove's questions, right? We've got a bunch going on in the playoffs, right? I don't know if did you want to start with MLB and then we'll go into NBA and NHL after?
That's whatever way you want to start it.
Hey, man, your questions. But let's start with baseball. Why not? Last I checked, my Yankees were down. I'm going to pull the scores up on my phone right now as we're talking about this.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got?
So we got 3 questions. 3 questions with 2 parts on each question. So will the Mariners continue their home win streak against a struggling Angels lineup, or can Tyler Anderson help LA place the spoiler?
Well, that's it. Okay, so good question. They've looked okay. So Seattle's looked pretty good. Seattle's 18-12 right now. They've been rocking and rolling this season. I believe they won 9-3 today, right?
Yeah.
They've got what they have maybe this is a 3-game series, I think, right? They have one more tomorrow. Yeah. I think they can continue it on right now. They've given up 6 runs in the first 2 games. They've scored 14. And Seattle's just looked nasty out there in the AL West. So I got no reason to say that they couldn't at this point. And I'm kind of curious now as to who is pitching tomorrow. Who do we got tomorrow? Do you know?
No, I haven't looked, but that's what goes with the second part of the question is. So the Mariners have dominated this matchup so far, riding a hot rotation. If they take game three, which they did, expect a sweep. The Angels need a breakout from their offense to salvage a win, but Seattle is in control. And three in a row against them, it looks like that Seattle isn't in control.
I mean, the way that Seattle's played recently, it's one of those things, I guess, like I the best way to say it, I want to say, I'm trying to think about who their best hitter is, pulling the stuff up on my phone as we're talking, so I'm not talking crazy. But I feel like right, Crawford, yeah, that's who it is. JP Crawford. He's batting around 289. Raleigh's got 10 homers. The teams looked good so far this season. I mean, Crawford's not just under, but he's got about a 425 on base percentage. The way that they're playing, like, I don't expect to see much change right now. I feel like they've just kind of really settled into their groove. I expect to see them winning more than they're losing right now. My man, I think you know him from a couple of the chats and some of the other stuff. My man Caleb is a big Seattle Mariners fan. So I get to see I get the updates on Seattle daily, whether I want to or not. But you know, they've always been a fun team.
Yeah, well, Angels gonna play Detroit this weekend, right after the series, so that's gonna be fun. And Seattle's got the Rangers.
Okay, so the Rangers, you caught me with that one, right? The Rangers, okay. The Rangers they could be a different story. Let me see here. Okay, Thursday, they got the Rangers Thursday. They got the Rangers Friday too. Is it?
Yeah.
What is it, a 3-game series or a 2-gamer?
3 games, always 3 games or 4.
So listen, it's tough to say, right? The Rangers have been decent this season. They started out a little bit better. They've kind of slowed down a little. They're just over 500. I think they're around 16-14, 16-15, if I'm not mistaken.
16-12.
16, okay, 16-12. So they're definitely, like, I don't think it'll be an easy.
16-14. Sorry, yeah, 16-14.
There you go.
Just above 500.
So, I think that the series will be a split. I think it'll be Mariners 2-1.
Yeah.
That's how I think it'll go. I think the Mariners will take the first game, and then I just saw who they had pitching, and I lost it. But I think they'll take the first game, and I think they'll take the third game.
Mm-hmm.
They're up against Corbin on Saturday. So, I got a little bit of faith in them. Again, the Mariners have been hitting real nice. ESPN Bet, obviously, they're favoring the Mariners right now, and with good reason. But it'll be Castillo against Corbin on Saturday. I like that matchup with Castillo. And tomorrow or Thursday, they've got, let's see here. What's the matchup look like on Thursday? Only I can be talking about a team and lose it every 2 seconds while I'm talking about them. Or excuse me, Friday. I think it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But I know that they also have Wu against Leiter. Leiter's 2-0. Wu's got 3 wins as of now. He's 3-1. So I don't know. I mean, again, I think that Seattle might even sweep the series, if I'm being honest. Texas hasn't been that impressive as of late, but again, the Rangers are a solid team. They've got a lot of good players on that team, so it's a little tough to say. But I would, if I was a betting man, I would take the Mariners.
Yeah, and Detroit versus Angels. Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, the Angels probably could take one from Detroit because Detroit has lost to a few teams like that. So I could see 2 out of 3 for Detroit this weekend. Angels want to get back in the win column, and Detroit's not going to sweep.
Detroit has looked fantastic this season.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm just giving the Angels one 10th inning win or something like that to come back. I can't see them come doing 2 out of 3 against Tigers.
Well, so the thing is, I think, right? Logically, they're gonna probably go against. Well, actually, I can't say this for sure, but right. I mean, you've got Scooble if he's gonna play. I don't know what their last rotation looked like, but between if they meet the beginning of that rotation, Scooble, Olsen, and Flaherty, they could definitely win a game against Flaherty. Flaherty's only got one under his belt this season, I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm
And
saying.
he's got a few losses. So I wouldn't be surprised. The Rangers got some bats.
Scoobles versus Soriano on Friday.
Yeah, I mean, Scooble's not the kind of guy you bet against, right? unless they're going over under on strikeouts.
And Saturday they got Flattery versus Hendricks.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, so it's the top. Yeah. And
then Olsen versus Kankanchi. So there's a 4-game set.
Okay.
I believe so. Yeah.
So it could. I mean, it could kind of go either way. But again,
so I'll give Detroit 3 out of 4.
And I mean, Detroit's 19-12, right? They've looked like one of the better teams. I think they are the number 1 team right now in the AL.
Yeah.
Right. The Yankees Yankees have 18 wins, which is not bad. And Cleveland's looked decent, but Detroit is definitely that team right now. It's great to see. I like to see Detroit as a good team. So pretty exciting.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, we're going to go on to this one. Can Elliot Cruz spark the Reds' offense in both the doubleheader games today against the Cardinals team in flux? And with the doubleheader on tap, the Reds have a good shot of taking the series 2-1 or even sweeping both games, led by De La Cruz, while the Cardinals' pitching depth is shaky. But I seen the update of it, and doubleheader happened, and the St. Louis won 15-1 in between both games, 9-0 and 6-1.
So what's going? Okay, and you're the right person to ask this question. I know that the Reds are over 500. They're in second place, but what's going on with that team? I feel like they're a roller coaster. They're very
they're very inconsistent. You beat the Orioles one time this season, 24-2. And then you get out. You have a doubleheader game, and you get outscored 15-1.
I mean, look, in that series, so one of those games was postponed, right? They made it up today. So in that series, they won 1 out of 3 games, right? But they looked good against the Rockies, but who doesn't, right? They played the Marlins and they lost 2 out of 3 against the Marlins. Then they swept the Rockies, right? And then they lost 2 out of 3 against the Cardinals. So it's kind of tough to say a team like that, right? They do very well, as they should, against the lower quality teams. And they can pull out a big one like they did against the Orioles. When the Orioles lose, they get spanked. So, it's not, I don't know. I mean, here's my question for you. Can Ellie De La Cruz lead that team back to the playoffs?
He could. He really could.
I mean, that's kind of like
you have Terry Francona. There is so many guys on the team right now, that work. They might be no names to certain people, but I mean, together they're a team. That's all that matters with team mentality. It's just as long as the team plays well together, they'll play together. They'll do well. So I think the team chemistry is fine because honestly, when's the last time you see the Reds have a hot start like this?
I mean, it is nice to see them start out the season over 500, 30 games in. No question about that. So I got no arguments there. Ooh.
That's what I'm saying. So, I mean, yeah, it sucks. I guess They lost 2 out of 3. The first game was like a 3-1 win for them, but that's a decent baseball win. You know, you don't always have to outscore your opponents every game. Like, yes, you got 24 against Orioles, but who doesn't? When they get spanked, they get spanked, like you said, right?
Yeah,
And
and
then,
that's a
but
little
then
heck.
the Cardinals, they go up against the 21-9 Mets this weekend.
Yo, I'm glad you brought them up because, as you know, I'm a Yankees fan, so obviously I show a little hate towards the Mets. They're like the little stepbrother that we don't like. They took Juan Soto from us. We didn't love that. The Mets are absolutely cooking right now. So the Mets are 8-2 in their last 10 games.
Yeah.
I mean, right there. They're in almost everyone's power rankings out there, Fox Sports, ESPN, etc. They're now the number one team. So, kudos to those guys. If I'm watching, I'll still root for them as long as they're not playing us. But they've been exceptional. Let me ask you, what is it? And because I don't know the answer to this, I'm going to do a little homework while we're talking about it. But what is it that they're doing so well?
I was questioning at the beginning of the season with the way they were they had their rotation, the way they had their lineup, but for some reason it clicks. It's just they just work well. They're working well together as a team. They got the right formation for players. I mean, ho- you got Soto, who was kind of unhappy for going there. They kind of posterized that he had a little, but going there because he had like a 9 for 27 streak going. But then Soto became Soto, right? Still not dominating, but he's still a dominant player.
He's doing better. He's definitely doing better.
And Alonso's a lot happier. Alonso had the contract hanging on him for the longest time. They
Alonso
just
is
say
cooking.
he wasn't sure if he was staying or going. It wasn't because we saw that all off season. We kept saying like, "Where's Alonso going to go?" Ends up actually going back to the Mets. So
So
I mean,
let me
like,
give you some stats on him real quick. Alonso's batting 346 on the season. He's got 7 home runs, 28 ribbies, and his on base percentage is 462 right now. He's got 37 hits on the season.
yeah.
Like, guy is playing phenomenal baseball.
So that's what I mean. Like right now they're losing. The Mets are losing 2-1 to D-backs, but I mean that happens. D-backs are pretty hot sometimes. So yeah, you're playing against the Mets. It's just like they've been hot for at least a week or so. You really thought the Mets were like because a lot of them are slumping at the beginning of the season, but now it's like now they're cooking, and now they're doing what they did last September. They found their momentum right now, and they're just rolling with it. And I mean, and then on the other side, the other team there for Cincinnati, they get to go play the Nationals this weekend, so they get a little breather.
They're going to need it.
But to ask you with that, because I'm bringing the Rockies into this, what is so bad about the Rockies?
The Rockies are they're on pace to be historically bad.
Yes.
Right? They've only won 5 games this season, I believe.
Yes.
And
They're on White Sox path. They're on the White Sox path right now.
And what's going to only make it worse for them is that the division that they're in, they have to deal with Arizona, San Francisco, the LA Dodgers, and the San Diego Padres. Not one of those teams has less than 15 wins, and at least one of them's got over 20 wins.
Yes.
So, they're in for a long season, man. They're in for a real long season. It's like AAA ball out there right now. It's
a minus 77 run differential.
Consider it like this. The Athletics don't even have a city attached to them right now. They're playing in a AAA park in another place. They're waiting. They're between Las Vegas, Sacramento, and Oakland. They've got 15 wins.
Yeah.
Right? They're a 500 team. 5 wins in 30 games is abysmal. It's like, I don't expect to see Colorado turn it around anytime soon. I wouldn't be surprised if their coach got canned during the season. If I'm being completely honest,
something's not working in Colorado. Like honestly, obviously. Now I said this the other day on my show. Now I wonder if you just kind of fuck with it for a minute. Do you think if Coors Field, and I wouldn't want to destroy Coors Field any which way or get the new stadium, but if you
it's an awesome field.
but if you put a roof over it, would that change the dynamics for Colorado?
Okay, so here's the way I look at that, right? That's supposed to be their advantage.
And it's become their disadvantage as far as you know, right?
Bro, like, right? When you have a high altitude, a stadium like that where you're gonna have a lot of wind, right? Those are the kind of things that you get used to in your own park, and other teams come and they're like, I gotta play in Coors Field tonight. This might not go my way. But you're right. It almost seems like, and I don't really know how you make sense of it, but it almost seems like the team isn't being able to acclimate to their own field. So I don't really know. I don't know that they would do it, but like a retractable dome wouldn't be a crazy idea. It might actually be kind of a good one.
Yeah. I mean, but Colorado's got to think of something. After everybody was completely like embarrassed on board or excited about what the White Sox did last year being so bad, can you have it for the sport to have another team back to back even be worse?
Dude, here's the thing. Because of teams like the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Mets, because of the big name teams, and then because of breakout stars like trying to point at your hat right now, like Bobby Witt, baseball's got a lot of really positive, awesome, exciting stuff to look out for.
Yeah, but they have Tovar in Colorado too. They have a big upcoming star.
Dude, Tovar. Let's see what his batting average is. Tovar's batting average right now is a 212. Okay. I don't want to kill anybody, but literally Goodman has the best batting average on the team, and he's batting under 270.
No, I know, but they're being killed. But I'm saying Tovar is their guy, and he's barely hitting a 300.
Dude, he's getting, bro. Are you kidding me? His on base percentage is a 250.
Yeah. Oh, they're all getting destroyed. They say it's pitching, but it's their bats are getting destroyed too.
Bats
These guys can't hit. They can't field. They can't hit. They can't field. They can't throw. Like you might as well bring up a AAA team to replace them. At this point,
bro, their best hitter right now is averaging less than a hit a game. Like, no good. They're not in a good place right now. I don't really know how you fix it, especially when you're 30 games into the season. Like, but like I said, what most teams would do in sports, right, is get rid of the manager, right? But it's so early. How do you do that?
Yeah. Well, if you go on pace, like how you like right now, you look at how many games I played. You multiply that to 162. This team barely wins 25 games this year.
That's what they're on pace for. Yeah, about 26 games on the season, which is hectic. Epic bad. Like
15 less than what the White Sox did last year. Like, oh. Okay, so White Sox and Brewers is the final game that we'll be talking about. So the Brewers are better on paper, but the White Sox have been pesky at home. If Tobias Myers pitches well tonight, Milwaukee should take this series 2-1. If Shane Smith continues to impress, it may go to the Sox. And so will the Brewers offense back Myers on the road against the improving White Sox and the rookie Shane Smith?
Okay, so right now, well, okay, so let's put it this way: the Brewers have already had 4 pitchers in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's tied 3-all, end of the 6th inning. I don't know, man. Smith pitched 5 innings. He gave up 3. He had 3 ERA in the game for the Sox. I don't know, man. The Sox are at home. I feel like the Sox might be able to sneak this one.
And think of it this way: we were just mentioning this. Would we be saying this last year? No, we would be like, "Oh, Sox have lost this game. Sox have lost this game."
Well, and you're right. And obviously, like, listen, the Sox definitely are not a good team right now. They only have 7 wins on the season. But, and I think you did highlight, at home, they've looked very scrappy. And so when you look at a team that they're playing that's already on their 4th pitcher of the night in the 6th inning, like, if you're going to have a chance to win, this is the game, right? Nobody's pitching well. So, you got a tie game. It's the top of the 7th, right? You got 3 innings, basically 0-0, and you're almost on your 5th pitcher for the other team. So tonight could be the night that the Sox get that 8th win for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't be surprised.
So, and Burke is playing Patrick tomorrow.
Okay. Tomorrow's game, I mean, listen, I would only expect the Sox to win 1 in the series, so if they win tonight, but you know what? It's hard to say. Patrick hasn't pitched that well this season either. Now, Burke's looked kind of crap. But I think tomorrow might be more of a toss-up. Here's the difference, right? Burke's ERA is it's 5+. It might be around a 6 right now. Patrick's is below a 3. So all things even, if the Brewers bats are working, I would think they would take it. But if I was going to make a live bet tonight, I would take the White Sox right now.
Mm-hmm. So the White Sox, after this series, once they played the other game tomorrow, well, then they're going to play the Astros this weekend.
The Astros, okay.
In Chicago, they'll be still home, but they'll be the Astros will be coming in at 16-14, just above 500, playing the White Sox, with Valdez pitching up against Cannon.
Okay, so that one's another interesting one. Valdez, his ERA is kind of up right now. He only got 1 win on the season.
They're both 1-3 with a 4-point-something ERA.
Yeah. But Valdez, if Valdez can dial in, I would expect to see them win. One thing I've learned, whether I like this team or not, and I definitely do not like the Astros, they're a tough team to bet against, They
can be difficult, yes.
They're just naturally, like, the makeup of that team is scrappy, so
but to it is the Brewers go home and then they face the Cubs.
I mean, I would expect the Cubs to handle their business. The Cubs have looked great this season. They're not perfect right now. They've taken some L's too, but I would expect the Cubs to do their thing. I still look at the Cubs as I think the Cubs are in the top 6 or 7 teams in the league right now.
Mm-hmm.
I got the Mets, right? From my Yankees are not in the top 5. God bless you. My Yankees are maybe number 6 or 7 in the league, I would say. But you got the Giants, you got the Dodgers, you got the Mets, you got the Padres, you got the Cubs, 5 NL teams right there. And then I would probably say the Cubs, Yankees, right around, in either order, 6 or 7. So,
but Philly's not behind. Philly's only a game behind.
Yeah,
Philly right now is Philly's 17-13. They're only a game behind the Cubs.
Philly's right there too.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody's saying Cubs, 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 but the Cubs will slide a little bit, and they have slid. They were a number 1 team, and now they're a number 7 team now.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like I would expect to see the Cubs regress to like going into the All-Star break. I expect them to be a 500 team.
Yeah. And
Not much.
on the AL, you have Seattle with 18, New York with 18, and Detroit with 19 right now. And Cleveland's got about 17. Boston's got 17. So
Boston's 1 game behind us, man. Boston's knocking on the door every day. Can't stand those guys. Red Sox. Ugh.
So, all right. So NHL playoffs.
Before we even jump in, I just want to say first, Ovechkin has scored another goal.
So these will be easy answers for you because you know. Can Cole Caulfield and Nick Suzuki carry Montreal's scoring load and break through Washington defense? And, the Capitals have the edge and can close it out tonight. Montreal has to play hard. But Washington experience, especially with Ovechkin and Carlson, is showing off. Like,
It's
I was
over.
going to say, it's over, right? There's just no... Where we are right now, like, what I was going to ask beforehand would be, like, if it goes to Game 6, pressure flips a little bit, but Ovechkin's cooking tonight.
Dude,
He scored within minutes of that game, and it's just killed all Montreal's momentum.
Dubois got one. Dubois got a goal. Wilson's got a goal. Strome's got 2 assists on those goals. They're looking real good.
I mean, it's only a 3-1 lead, but Ovechkin's got two out of the 3 goals. It's just they've been dominating 3-0 for majority of this game.
So now it's 3-1, and there's 5 minutes left in the game. I don't expect the Capitals to let go at this point. And to be quite frank, Logan Thompson, man, he's been playing a hell of hockey.
Mm-hmm.
He's got 25 saves on the night as it is. So I expect to see the Caps advance tonight, period.
Now, how do you feel about next round? Because it's going to be Caps versus Carolina.
Carolina's a tricky one, right? Carolina, for the last few years, they've been in that second round, that Eastern Conference final. They've been there every year. They're really good. That's a tough one. That's a good question. I'll be honest. I think if the East wins the Cup this year, they win it on the back of Ovechkin. That's just like my gut feeling. So I think that they'll handle their business, but it's really hard to count out a team like the Canes. It's really hard.
I mean, you got to handle the Canes, and I mean, and I'm gonna add this into it because I saw this tonight, and I loved it because it was just fans can be so critical. And before we have one more question before we give it to basketball, and we can talk about the next. But I seen videos tonight because the Ottawa Senators have won the last 2 games. Now people are burning Maple Leaf jerseys. It's like, what the... Your team's still up 3-2 in the series, and you're burning jerseys. Like, seriously?
Dude, all I can think about when I was watching the game the other night, in my mind, I'm picturing you saying, yeah, the Maple Leafs are usually a one-and-done team. And I'm like, yo, are they really going to let the Senators come back in and knock them off? Like, it would be such a good story.
We'll have to see tomorrow night. But, so... The Florida Panthers are just sitting pretty waiting for the Maple Leafs. And I'm sorry, but the Maple Leafs are going to get washed. If they cannot handle the Senators, they are going to get washed by Florida.
Well, okay, so Florida still has to finish tonight's game. They do. They're winning 4-3. The third period's about to start. I do think that they're going to close it out tonight. So I think that you're right when you say that. I think they'll finish this series off.
Did you happen to see about the other night where Tampa had a 2-1 lead, and with 11 seconds, Florida just took the air right out of Tampa.
Dude, that's what Florida does. Like,
Mhm.
that's exactly the kind of hockey team that is, and
And I'm not
they're
forgetting
gonna
that Tampa scored 2 in 11 seconds on them either. I watched the whole game. I mean,
it's one of those things where like there have been so many, like, right, the Ovechkin story, how good the Caps have been this season. The West is just savage right now. I mean, you've seen the LA Kings have looked awesome in the playoffs. The Dallas Stars have just been taking apart the Avalanche.
mhm.
You know what I mean? The Jets have scored a ton of goals, but then they also got a ton of goals scored on them too. So people have forgotten who the champs are, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's a
So
dangerous thing.
the lead into that. So could the Panthers Lightning rivalry could it produce a rivalry game 5 classic, assuming the game is the game is gonna be that way, with Barkov versus Kucherov likely leading their teams. The Panthers are slight favorites to close it out tonight. The Lightning need vintage performance from Andrei Vasilevsky or Kucherov to force a game 6. Like, Florida's depth has been the difference so far. Like, that's what
Um,
it's been. It's
I
been
mean,
Florida's
dude,
depth.
that's one of those. Barkov's already got at least one goal on the night. I know that for a fact. Um, it's a tough situation because Florida, and like you said it best, they've got depth, right? Whether it's Reinhardt and Marchand, I mean, Sam Bennett, they've got so. I didn't even mention Kachuk, right? They've got so many guys on the ice. Evan Rodriguez. They've just got a ton of guys who are really capable dudes, right?
Ekblad's been suspended for 2 games, though.
Really,
Yeah.
what happened? Oh, for that stick move? Was
Yeah.
that okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. So Ekblad's knocked out for tonight and game 1 of the next series.
And you know who I forget? You know who I forget about, right? I name all these other people. What's this guy's name? He's also awesome. I think he's got a goal tonight too. Carter for Hagee.
Yeah.
Like, they've just got, like you said, they've got depth, right? It doesn't matter if it's the first, second, or third line. Like, whoever's out there, and like they're playing against Vasilevsky, like one of the all-time great goalies, and they've already thrown 4 up because they're trying to close it out. And I believe this game is in Tampa Bay too. So like they're away and they're just doing what they
Well,
do.
it's actually been, other than like the other game, all road teams have won.
Well,
That's what's been going on. All road teams have won.
listen, I'll
So
tell you what the
this will
biggest.
be the third game. If they close out tonight, they beat Tampa 3 times in Tampa
That's
to
crazy.
knock them out.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So the biggest surprise to me, and like that I just really didn't think was going to turn out the way that it has. This Golden Knights Minnesota Wild series.
Mhm.
It just like,
Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
dude,
Right?
I really like the game went to OT again. Like, I really was like,
I told you, Fleury's gonna play a different level.
dude, 2
He's out for the
overtime
series.
games. Like, okay, the first 3 games, it was like 4-2, 5-2, 5-2, like one team, one sided. The last 2 games were both overtime games. I was just really thankful that we pulled it out at home, right? At the Fortress. That was what, like, to me, that was huge because, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think the next game, who's playing? I think the next game is at Minnesota. And it's just, I mean, it's been tough out there. It's the only way to say it. It's been tough out there, so
So this will be the best one because this we since we're doing this later, we do see live results of current games. But so will Connor Hellebuck hold off the Blues forecheck in this pivotal game 5 that could tilt the series for Winnipeg? And it's a true toss up game. Tonight's game 5 in Winnipeg is crucial. The Jets have home ice advantage, the goaltending edge with Hellebuck, but the Blues' physicality and playoff pedigree gives them a real shot at stealing the series. So, do you think if the Blues win tonight, could they steal the series from Winnipeg?
I mean, if they win tonight, they're going to be ahead 3-2. If they get vintage Bennington, and they keep the checkup the way that they have, it's almost impossible to say that they couldn't at this point, right? I mean, the games that the Jets won, right? 5-3, 2-1, right? Closer games. The games that the Blues won were 7-2 and 5-1. When the Blues are cooking, like they're all the way kicking butt. So, I know they got a game tonight, right?
Yeah.
Dude, let's look at it like this. If they win game 5, if the Blues win game 5, where's game 6? It's in St. Louis.
Yeah.
There's no reason they can't win this series. So tonight's pivotal. If they could take this W tonight, but if the Jets have the opportunity, especially with Hellebuck going into game 6, even if they're going away, we know they can win on home ice and away, then it's the Jets. I feel like this series goes to whoever wins tonight.
Mm-hmm. So how do you see it? Like we went through the West where I was saying Florida versus Canes, and then you were like pretty much weren't sure about Washington versus Canes, but Florida. Now on this West Coast though, so say who do you got? Do you have the Jets or the Blues going up against the Wild or
right now
Golden Knights? Because that's who's going to play each other.
It'll be the Jets against the winner of the Stars Avs series.
Oh, is this the Stars Avs series? Oh,
yeah. So I don't think it matters because the Stars are going to win that series, and then whoever comes to play them is getting beat up. That's my feeling. I feel like the Stars are just getting warmed up. I know it's a 3-2 series, but I got a lot of confidence in that team. I'm not a fan of that team, but they're really good. Now, on the other side of things, I'm hoping it's going to be the Golden Knights against the LA Kings. Now, it's weird when I say that because I don't like that matchup. The LA Kings have been a problem for everybody this season. But I don't – here's the thing. I don't think that, so whether it's Kempe and Kopitar or it's McDavid and Draisaitl, I don't think that the Knights match up. The Knights match up with whoever, but it's not like I look at either of those like dominant fronts and I'm like, oh, this one will be easier. You know what I mean? Like either way it goes, LA or Edmonton, I think it's going to be a very tough series, but I would like to see the LA Kings against the Las Vegas Knights. That's what I would like. So
I'm the same with you with Dallas going against. It doesn't matter. You go Dallas, St. Louis, Dallas Jets. Dallas is still going. You're playing Dallas in the Western Conference Finals, and it just depends on can Vegas and LA make it that far. Do you can you see Edmonton even having a chance against LA? I mean, they did win the other day. They came crawl. They're crawling back. But do you see LA losing the series?
No, honestly, to me, I think it would be like, okay, here's the interesting thing, right? So for the next match, Edmonton, like according to the betting odds, Edmonton is actually the favorite. But like if you've been watching hockey, and I know you're watching hockey, I don't agree with that. I just like, I don't know. I feel like
that'd be a crazy ending. You see the Wild versus the Oilers in the next round.
Dude.
That would just be that would be a crazy setup.
Listen, Edmonton, I mean, Edmonton's Edmonton, right? They're a really, really tough team. There's no way to say it. I think Edmonton's won the last 3 games in a row, if I'm not mistaken, right? So I think they're ahead in this. I think it's 3-2 Edmonton, not LA.
No, it's tied.
One of those was an overtime game. I don't know, man. I just feel like to me, LA is like the most dangerous or most slept on team in the playoffs right now in the West. So I don't know. I still think that the Kings are going to win this series, which means a game 7. But I don't know. We'll see. I think that the West
the Oilers
is
up 3-2. The Oilers up 3-2 and Vegas is up 3-2. So tomorrow is the defining series for Toronto. Toronto wins, Vegas wins, Stars win, and Kings win. Oilers win. Then we have the West set after that.
I think that Vegas is going to put it away. I don't know. Like I said, I think that the Oilers might lose. I think that the Kings will force a game 7. And if they go to a game 7, I don't know. I'm kind of confident the Kings are a tough team, man. I feel like they can do a lot of damage. You know, again, they haven't looked great in the last 3 games, but I don't know. For me, that's the way I'm going. No question about it.
Friday night's going to be weak for hockey because if Florida wins tonight, Capitals just won pretty much. And that just leaves the Jets and the Blues on Friday night. The only game on Friday night. It's 1 game.
It's okay. I'll be watching boxing anyway, baby. Let's go.
Then Saturday leaves for game 7s of all the rest of the series. Right? So
the next round of the playoffs is going to be really good. That much I know. Like I'm looking forward to next week because NHL hockey is going to get really good next week.
So this is going to be interesting as we go with the NBA and finish it off. But because we already seen this score. But my question was, can Jalen Green rise to the occasion under elimination pressure, or will the Warriors' experience and home crowd prove too much? Golden State is poised to end the series at home. The Rockets' youth has flash potential, but the Warriors' playoff-tested core is too much. A game 6 is unlikely unless Houston shoots the lights out tonight. And holy shit, has Houston not shot the lights out tonight?
Well, Houston, right? So they haven't done great. Here's what Houston's problem is. I'm looking at the quarter by quarter breakdown right now. They scored 40 in the first quarter. They scored 36 in the second quarter. In the third quarter, they scored 31. There's 4 minutes left in the game. They've only scored 8 points in the fourth quarter. So what they did in that first half was huge for them. You know, they're up by about 15 points right now. With 4 minutes left, they got a 15-point lead. But again, they're playing, Jimmy Butler. They're playing Steph Curry, Buddy Hield. Draymond Green. That's a team. I don't even know if that game's gone yet. The Rockets could still lose. It's 21-9 in the fourth quarter. It's like one team's playing and one team's just getting worked. So it's not quite over yet, and it's crazy to say that, but with a team like the Warriors, it's tough. Here's my thing, though. I think that the Rockets I like the Rockets. They're young, they're good, etc. I don't see the Rockets winning this series. No 2 ways about it.
It's right now where you're sitting at game 5. It's going to be done in 6. It'll probably be done in Houston tomorrow.
Yeah,
the next game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if the Rockets still hold up this one, the Warriors are going to come back, win in 6.
Okay, you want to hear it, and this is how you know that this is okay. The bench tonight, right? So between Spencer, Moody, Knox, in total, Gary Payton Jr., right? Or Gary Payton II, whatever they want to call him. The bench has put up 20, 30. The bench has put up more than 50 points. So, right, Steph Curry's only got 13 points on the game. Jimmy Butler's got less than 10. Draymond's got less than 10. But the bench has put up over 50 points. So, you know what I mean? Like, I would be shocked to see a team with as much experience and the players and the stars that they've got on it, like the Warriors. I would be shocked if the Warriors lost the series. They may and very likely will lose today, but the series, I don't think so. I don't think so.
So is Anthony Edwards ready to take the Timberwolves to the next round, solidifying himself as a true playoff stars? The Timberwolves have exposed the Lakers' roster's gaps, bearing a huge night from LeBron and Luka Doncic, but Minnesota should finish the job home at tonight. If LA wins, Game 6 pressure might shake Minnesota's resolve.
Okay, so that's another series. That's a really tough one for so obviously they've got Luka Doncic and they've got LeBron James on what's it called? The playoff bracket on the LA Lakers. I feel like Ant Edwards is ready to make this move. I feel like he's going to put on a commanding performance. Listen, I picked the Lakers to go to the finals. I'll be honest, I did. But the way that I've been watching this team, the way that Randall's been playing awesome. I mean, Gobert's been okay. He hasn't been amazing. But Edwards, this team is just – Ant dropped 43 in the last game. So we're going to see what happens. I got a feeling the Lakers might squeak this out tonight and push the Game 6. I think this game is in Los Angeles too.
Mm-hmm.
So if this game is in LA, that should definitely favor the Lakers. But I don't know, man. Like, I feel like tonight could be like a passing of the torch moment. Ant Edwards, right? I love me some Ant Edwards, man. Edwards and the T-Wolves go into LA and knock off LeBron James, Luka Doncic, and the LA Lakers and move to the second round of the playoffs. Like, that's pure cinema right there, man. I like it. Like I said, I'm actually in a bracket. I picked the Lakers to play the Celtics in the finals. But I feel like Ant Edwards is going to make me eat my words, and the Timberwolves are going to put it away tonight.
So, how do you feel about Knicks in 6?
I'm a Knicks fan, right? I got to believe that that's going to happen. Yesterday was tough, right? I'll be honest. I thought we were done in 5. I really did. I got to give a lot of credit to the Detroit Pistons. There's no other way to say it. Between Durham, between Cade Cunningham, those guys have just they've been awesome. You know what I mean? It's been way more than what I expected. I thought, like, going into the series, I was like, you know what, they could be tough. But then once we got ahead 3-1, I was like, you know what? There's no way the Knicks are going to lose this game at home. But the Knicks have not won or closed out a series at home in like 20 years, bro.
But they're in Detroit though.
No. So Game 6 is going to be back in Detroit. It's tough to say. I like our odds on the road. I do. As long as everybody's playing, it's like one of those things where it's like it would be tough for me to feel any other way about it, Bing bong, Knicks in 6. That's the way I'm looking at it.
And the final is Denver versus Lakers tomorrow. The LAC, the Clippers. Does Denver take the Clippers out tomorrow? Or do we force a 7?
Okay, so that series, the way that series kind of like, I was a little surprised, to be honest. The way that they played, Denver was like lights out yesterday. Like, Jamal Murray scored 40 plus points, and he only had 1 point from the free throw line. Like, out of his mind. Then you got triple-double Jokic out there. Dude, it's tough, man. The Clippers, and I like the Clippers, too, man. I want to see Harden do well. I like Zubac. Kawhi Leonard is like one of my favorite players ever to watch play basketball. I think the Clippers will win at home and force a game 7, but I'm starting to lose confidence in the fact that they can get past the Nuggets.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, but I do think they are going to win this game tomorrow night. And, we'll see what happens.
So I'll do just a quick 30-second runoff of next round of where we think it's going to be. So you got OKC versus Denver. Who advances?
I think that so and a lot of people are going to be like, is he crazy? The Thunder have looked unbelievable. Obviously, they swept their series. They've been the best team in basketball all year. They are the most complete team in basketball. Shai is probably going to win the MVP. I think that if they play the Nuggets, and you know what? I'll be honest. I think that whichever team wins, the Nuggets or the Clippers, assuming all are healthy, I'm taking that team to beat the Thunder.
Okay. Minnesota versus Golden State.
I got Minnesota, man. Ant Edwards, bro. I'm on the Ant Edwards bandwagon right now for sure.
I know what answer I'll get out of this one, but Cleveland versus Indiana.
Okay, so this one's interesting. Cleveland, the second best team all season long, right? Cleveland's awesome. They looked amazing. They completely just crushed the Miami Heat 4 games. They won the last game by 51 points or something ridiculous, maybe 54 points, something absurd, a historic amount. The Pacers have looked like, I don't know if you watched that Pacers game yesterday, but the Pacers, have just looked really, really tough. Halliburton has played way better than I expected. Siakam's looked great during the playoffs. I don't know, man. I kind of feel like the Pacers might knock off the Cleveland Cavs.
And the series that I know a lot of Knicks fans are going to love, but Celtics versus Knicks.
I'm going to be honest. I think all roads in the NBA right now through the finals go through Boston. I do not think, whether it's the Knicks or Detroit, that they stand a chance. Hopefully they will not get swept. But I do think Boston is going to the finals. I've said that since day one. I stand by it. I don't think it matters if they play the Pacers. I don't think it matters if they play the Cavs, the Knicks, or the Pistons. Boston's going to the finals. And you guys know, like, I'm from New York City. Like, it actually hurts me to say that out loud. But it is just the way, like, if you're watching basketball.
This is where I get to troll you a little bit. You guys all your fans wanted Boston last year. Now it's time to put up and shut up against the Celtics.
Listen, dude, you're right. And okay, let's just say the Knicks and the Celtics get, we get past the Pistons as we should. We get to Boston. I don't think the Knicks are just going to get washed. Like, I think they'll be tough. I think they'll make it a competitive series. But, I mean, I don't know, bro. Like, and you know what? Orlando looked like they were going to give the Celtics a run for their money yesterday, And then Banchero got 3 fouls to start the third quarter, got sat on the bench. Boston hit no 3-pointers in the first half. They came out in the second half, and they hit like 9 in a row. That team, they need Jaylen. They need Jaylen Brown. They need Jason Tatum to play well. But if those guys are not playing well, then Porzingis steps up, then Pritchard steps up, then Horford steps up, and Derek White steps up. They've just got an arsenal, bro, and everyone on that team can shoot from behind the arch. And they play good defense. They're a really tough team. I hate to say it, but I wouldn't be surprised if Boston went back-to-back this year.
Yeah.
That's how good I think that team is. We're going to see. But listen, I think that's all we got for tonight, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yep.
So, guys, tap in with us on the socials. I'll have an update for you. You'll probably see a retweet of when Cove's next live is going to be. And for those that are interested, Ryan Garcia returns to the ring on Friday night in Times Square, and he's fighting for a title. So definitely stay up with me on that. You'll see a lot of videos, a lot of boxing stuff coming through my page the next 2 days. Super excited for boxing this weekend. I will be on my couch all weekend. Unless it's hot enough, then we'll be in the pool, but we're not leaving home. That much is true. It's that time of year. So thanks, everybody, for chiming in and hanging out with me and my boy Cove. I'm sorry. I just realized, you know what? We didn't even have any comments today. So good. Nice and quiet evening. Thanks for everybody. We had a couple hundred people tap in to listen to us tonight. Hopefully you guys got something out of it, enjoyed it, and we will see you guys on the other side. Again, thanks for stopping by Vinny's Corner. Boom.
Now, just to say it quickly,